Today we got a full scale of diving into some talks and some teachings of, from my point of view, that's how I roll with it. Um, Everyone has their own perspective. So welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Felicia, as well as Niana, as well as Priestess Makala. We're all here today. Me, myself, and I. Okay. So first I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to talk about generational curses. Now, I've made my mentions yesterday that I am offering the 1 hour session with a 1 day follow up. Okay. $65 for that. If you're not going to sign on for the 4 day program or the 9 day program. Okay. You just get the 1 day follow up. Now, this does not mean that if you have something really deep going on, a 1 day is going to take care of it. A 1 hour session, 1 day follow-up is going to take care of it. No. I'm going to reiterate this. And I'm doing a teaching from this point because this is a good medicine teaching for everyone. Now, if I was someone who did not walk with integrity, walk with honesty, and I was just someone that was like this charlatan person, it would go like this. Oh, yes, I can take care of you. Come, come, come. And then I see what I'm dealing with. But I don't tell you up front that what I'm offering is not in a good service alignment for you to get your full benefit outcome. I would never just put someone do that. But someone that was more shisty would just say, yes, let me help you. I could do that, knowing doggone well that that 1 day is not going to do anything. And then what will happen is the person will tell you, will say, oh, so how are you feeling? Oh, you're still having issues? Okay, how about this? Can you afford to pay me a little bit more so we can continue? I think you would benefit more if I could put you into another day or so. Okay, so you do it. You give the extra money. Okay, now you didn't paid over the amount of fee. Then you come back and you're still not happy. You're still having problems. And the person says, oh, well, you might need more time. Do you see what's happening here? They're not really helping you to solve the situation. They're just pulling money out of you. I don't walk that way in life. I don't do that. And there's karma with that. Anybody that's doing something like that to someone who genuinely needs your assistance, if you're showing up like that, hurting people like that, you're going to get a serious awakening call to stop doing that. So what I will do, I will ask you a series of questions when you email me. That's what comes through. That's the first part of, let's see if this divinely aligns with you. Let's see if this is the right fit, if it'll work with you. Spiral Light going to help you undo this. Okay. So we'll get to talking. I'll ask you all these questions. These questions are straight in your face. I don't waste no time because when we talk about generational curses, when we talk about things that have deeply hurt you, why you're unhappy, what could be causing your emotional weight gain, what are you protecting yourself from? We're talking about things that are deeply put upon you. And we need to be able to look at those questions and say, okay, when I ask a client questions, I'm meeting and reading it and I'm talking to the team and I said, oh, look, this is this. And I'll know off the bat, this is not going to be a 1 day fix. This is going to be one of those where we have to go in and do the layers and help this person claim themselves. Now, I need you to understand this. Be So Light is all about helping you to claim your light, as well as Spiral Light galactically is all about that, claiming your light and healing yourself. That's what I do. I need you to be your divine physician, to be the one that steps up and heals yourself. The healer is the one that creates a space, that provides the guidance so that you can do that. The healer is not the one that's going to come in and take on all your stuff so that you can be free of it. No, no, no. So, how am I tying this all in? Last night was a phenomenal talk on Black Magic 363. He had his guest, Vicky Diller, on. Love her. But last night, she was tapped in the spirit. And when she was talking about soul contracts. And we already did a lot of different soul clearings, soul contracts. Now, I'm going to show you how divinely aligned this was. Because for 2 days, I was getting frustrated on trying to figure out how I can get the videos that I saw the info in that I wanted to share with everyone. But how do I get it and transfer it into the community so you can take a look at it and decide for yourself? And I was getting frustrated. And then for some reason, last night, it was like I was in this mode, and I went and I saw a certain thing. I saw the video after Vicky finished doing her teaching last night. I hit the share, and then I saw it open up, and it said create post, and I was like, create post? I hit that, and I heard hit that. And then I hit that, and it took me into my setting to be able to put that video in the community. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I finally got the guidance on how to do that. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you. So I loaded up last night's video of Vicky Diller talking. Anyone that is a part of the Be So Light tribe, or you know someone that is going through something, I need you to share that video or to come into the community and sit your butt down and watch that. She was so tapped into spirit. I said, this is what it needs to look like. When you're tapped into spirit, you're teaching people how they can get in there and rescue their own self. Take care of that. Her talk about the soul contract was on point. I've talked about it, but you know what? Sometimes it's better when you can get a different perspective of the same topic. Somebody else expresses their things. And you know what I love? I love what she used in the video. Now, I use a lot of comparison of movies and things. She does the same thing. I love that. And she picked some movies that were really iconic to use for what she was talking about. So when she was talking about when you're dealing with soul contracts, when you're dealing with heavy soul contracts, she really dived into how you have to go in there and you claim yourself. You say no. Now, I'm going to back this up. Galactic Spiral Light works good on immediate things you want to get rid of, on things you're trying to heal, on... Hold on a second. Okay. On things that you're trying to heal. Say like an injury that just happened to you, you're trying to heal that. Okay, great. Spiral Light will go in and help with that. Spiral Light will help with those immediate things, fear factor things going on. This is where Spiral Light differs, and I've talked about this. If you are tied into heavy addictions, Spiral Light is not going to be the first thing to line with that. And I'm going to tell you why. It'll help cut through some of the things, but it still falls on the person who first made the conscious decision. Listen to the words I'm saying. Conscious decision to tether themselves to the substance or the addiction. You said a yes to it. For whatever reason, you said a yes to it. That same energy that you used to say a yes to that, you now have to say a no to it. You now have to claim yourself to be able to untether yourself from that addiction. Okay? So that first part of claiming the accountability and responsibility and giving yourself permission to heal is on you, not the healer, because it does not work if you do not give yourself permission to heal. And this is the number one thing I teach my practitioners in Spiral Light practitioner training. You have to check in with that client to see if they really want to heal. Because if they really want to heal themselves, okay, great. They really want to heal. Great. They say they're ready to heal. They're ready to let go. They're in it to win it. They're going to heal like that. If you get two scenarios that I don't bother with. I don't bother with, well, I was wondering if you could do some healing work on my guy Mike, because he's having all these nightmares and stuff. And I just think if he got some work from you to do that. And I say straight, just like this, you don't ask for him. If he wants to get healing, he has to take the step and walk up and claim that and have a meeting or a phone call or a text with me first. He has to take the step, because when he takes the step, that's his alignment. That's his soul journey, not yours to ask for him. Now, if somebody was unconscious, they are nonverbal, they're in a hospital, and they come to me and they say, hey, can you help with this? I'm going to check and see if that's mine to step into. Because if it's a contract agreement that this is something that is a part of their experience, I can't go step into that. And a lot of times, the soul of the individual, 95% of the time, this is what happens. I will see the soul of that person outside the body. And I will look at them and they say, can you see me? And I go, yeah, I can see you. Are you staying or going? And then they'll say things I'm not sure. I said, well, do you want to have continue the mission here? Is this going to be a walk-in procedure? There's a lot that goes on with people who have they're tapped into spirit energy. They are communing with someone that's not in their body. A tragedy has happened. And now I'm asking this individual, are you staying or going? And if they tell me, just like my friend Deb did, I was like trying to, this is fixable. We can get in here. We can do this. And Deb's like, no. And then she flashes and shows me the inside of her brain and how bad the bleeding was. And that she's not coming back from it. Then she shows me she doesn't want to be a burden. She doesn't want to be a vegetable. And I'm like, okay. All right. She says, I'm letting this body go. Please just help them to understand, to stop doing it. They're going to do their stuff. Don't take it personal. I'm not coming back in this body. I said, okay. So a lot of times, your loved ones are sitting outside the body. They're sitting in the room. They're standing in the corner. They're standing next to you when something like this happens, when a tragedy happens, when we're talking about these soul contracts, okay? So when the healer comes in, they open up the space so that you can make the decision of how do you want to heal yourself. Now, we're going to go a little deeper. It has been my experience when I've seen curses, satanic rituals that have been done on people, and how they are handled. They have a handler. These handlers keep an eye on the ones that had the rituals done to them. From the times that they were babies all the way up to the time of if they broke away from the group or if they're no longer being used for that. But one of the things that Vicky talked about, she really is so true. And I never really looked at it like that. And I love her perspective of that, the way she talked about it. When we're in the womb of our mother, when she starts to have contractions, I love how she said that. The word contract, this contract is now being activated. This soul contract is being activated. I love the way she said that because, when you hear the word, oh, I'm having contractions now. And then everyone is in this speed of how far apart are they? How many are you having? So when that announcement goes out into the ether, I'm having contractions. Everybody that is for you is alert, and everything that is to be against you is alert. Because as soon as you come through that birth canal and break through that blood, that's the activation and the announcement that you're here. So that's when the tracking starts. This is when the soul contract starts of what you came in for, what you signed up for. This is where it gets freaking heavy for a lot of people because people stand back and say, you mean to tell me that a child signed up for this to be brutally beaten up or to go there? The child signed up for? Yes. You mean to tell me I signed up for somebody that I got in contact with and they were abusive to me and they stole all my money and I became homeless and I went through this and then I got injured in this and I... Yes. That's the part that freaking puts all of us in a tizzy when we have to hear, yes, you signed up for this because it was a contractual agreement when you came into this world. You signed up for every experience that you are having. You just don't remember it. And I love how Vicky used Jason Bourne. That Bourne whole series with Matt Damon, how he doesn't remember who he is because of amnesia. Now, when we go through that cycle, I like the word when she said he had amnesia because I've already talked about when we're coming in, we sign that contract, we're coming in, and then we have amnesia about why we're here because we have to be in the heart of the experience of what we're experiencing. So, and then now when we talk about the rising of all the frequencies and we're coming out of the amnesia that was put on us through a diabolical type of spell that was placed on us. So anything that's satanic, that is deep spell conjuring through the bloodlines, this is not a one-day fix. And I'm holding my truth on that because I don't walk that way in life and play those games with people. I'm not about that. It's not a one-day fix. And if you get yourself hung up with somebody who is not walking their true divinity healing light and they start extracting all this money from you to get you with your healing and they know damn well it's not going to work, please walk away from that. Okay? You know, I keep my prices pretty reasonable, and I always know people who really value the work, they will come back and they do something very gifting to me, and I never saw that coming. I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And he said, "No, I really value what you did for me. Your work is phenomenal." You know, I know people don't see a lot of things written up on it because of the fact that, you know, I tell people to talk about it here, talk about it there, but it's not linked up, but I put it in my books and talk about it there. I keep running documents and files and stuff on the treatments. But I am here to tell you, if you or someone has really experienced these what I call generational curses. Now, these generational curses, make sure you got water and tea, honey. This is not no stop in talk today. We're going in it. Generational curses. This is the sad stuff. Okay? We'll find this amongst women and sometimes the firstborn son or the youngest son. Okay? Kind of keep it there. A lot of times with satanic rituals or heavy curse rituals, it will be locked in on the child that's coming whenever it's coming in. Okay? Let's say, for example, there is a generational illness that always comes through on the bloodline of the woman, and they want to break that, or they've always had bad luck, or they always have generational curses of they can't keep a man. Every time they get married or something, the man just dies mysteriously. They never have prosperity. They're always in suffering. Okay, it's always a suffering type of thing. This is where it gets tricky. When you're in battle to clear these type of timelines. These type of timelines of the person who is afflicted with it, where you are the suffering one. You have an unhappy life. No matter what you do, nothing ever happens right for you. You're constantly being bombarded by shadow figures or different things that come into your space. Drag Me to Hell is a really good movie to watch on that. How different things can be spelled and tethered to a person so that that energy misses this person. This person doesn't have to take it on, but they feed it to another person. So now that person is targeted. Okay? That person's going to take on all your stuff. I've also seen this happen with people who go in for certain type of, it's supposed to be a certain type of purification, a certain type of rites. Okay? But unbeknownst to you, you don't realize that there's a certain underlining thing that they're going to use you for. And it'll start off simple like this. If you are still pure, you haven't laid with anybody, okay? They're going to use your vessel to dump all their stuff of things that they don't want in their life into you. And you'll be wondering why you're always walking around not feeling right, like there's something going on. And then when they have done you wrong and they know what they have done to you, but you're thinking you're getting some kind of cleansing or blessing out of this, and then they slip up and say things, how are you feeling? You should be feeling like something's on you or crying. Why would you say that to somebody if you were helping them? That's the scenario. That's one scenario. Then there's another scenario where you are constantly on certain times of the year, or everybody comes over. There's like this party gathering. There's a certain drink that's given to you. You don't remember anything. You're dressed in certain clothings, and then you hear certain things going on, and there's ceremonies going on. And then after it's all said and done, you're back in your room and you wake up and you don't remember what's happening. Hi, darling. Hi, darling. Okay? Those are those rituals. Those rituals usually has a lot of molestational things that happen to people. Um, Things that are being done to tether that stuff to the one that's carrying it, or what they're trying to create by putting all that in there. Okay? They want this person to carry it. All right? That's another form of it. Then there's just a plain old downright angry person. You stole their guy and you ruined their fortune of ever being happy in life. You married their fortune. And then this person hates you so much, they point their finger at you and they curse you. They curse you. They wish you the ill will. We've seen these in movies where they point the finger. You know, in Practical Magic, one of the little girls were so mad, and she said, "I hope you get," and she's like, "Kitty, put your finger down, put your finger down, chicken pox," you know. And then the kid later breaks out in chicken pox because with her intention, she sent that out. Now, everyone in their bloodline, you come from a magical background, you come from a hoodoo background, you come from powerful, connected, powerful elemental family. That's in your blood. And some people try to hide from it. They try to pretend like they don't have it. They try to pretend like they shut it down. They try to pretend like they don't see spirits. They don't hear anything talking to them. They don't hear that, blah, blah, blah. They try to shut it down. If it's in your DNA and you have that, you have that. Okay, that's all there is to it. You can shut it down as much as you want. But as you get older, it starts to get stronger. You can't ignore it. And then one day when you really need to show up and you are the key to breaking something down or to get rid of something, it comes on full force. Okay? So you have to really look at that. So you can't fix something like that in a one-time setting. There's just no way. I've seen how I did spiral for a young lady who was satanic victim. We got as far as clearing where she could finally stop having the nightmares. But then as soon as one of the handlers found her, it brought it all back. She was on the run again. And she says, no matter what I do, I'm never going to be free of this. I said, you have to stop running. And you have to stand in the power of who you are. And you have to face them. And that's a scary thing to do, but you're the only one that will be able to stop it. You have to send it back. And when I tell people, sometimes you have to send things back. You have to send things back without feeling guilty. You have to send things back sometimes without worrying about what the outcome will be when you return to sender. I've had to do return to sender things because I didn't have enough in my spiritual toolbox to know how to get rid of this Egyptian dark witch, I have to say it like that, who was attacking me on every level and thought that I stole money from her when in fact, I was able to tell her it was her husband that did it, but she didn't want to believe that. So she made it her purpose to go after me and attack me as much as she could. And I was in this fear thing. I've had attacks at night in the bed where I wake up and I see this black figure standing at the bed. It would look like a hag, and it changed into a weird looking black cat at the foot of my bed, and then it disappeared. I gained all the weight. I was losing my hair. I was like paranoid of every little thing. I mean, my life was like, what's happening to me? And then it was one day I went into a candle shop on Franklin Boulevard, Mr. Keys. And there's certain things, this is why it's really, we sign up for things. Okay, we really do. Yes, return to sender. We sign up to be down here. And in that signing up in that contract, when your contract's activated, everybody that you made an agreement that you were going to meet, no matter how it was going to be set up, is going to play a role in something that you have to get through. They're going to be the ones that flip the coin. They're going to be the ones that have the key. They're going to be the ones to show you what you need to do. And I'll never forget what Mr. Keys taught me. He was what I can say, he never displayed it, but he was a voodoo priest. You could just step into his store and you could just feel his power. And I remember when I went in there, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know him very well. I've only been in the store one or two times, and I got freaked out every time I saw all the candles, and I wasn't, I still in my whole going to church and doing all that stuff, and thinking I was going to go to hell in a handbasket being here. But I found myself going there after I worked through that level, and I told him what was happening. And he got this look on his face. And I go, what? Do you see something around me? He goes, I am tired of this woman doing what she does to people. And then he got real somber. And I literally watched his face change in front of me. It was like one of these old elders came over him, and he leans in and says, now, you don't worry. You need to stand in the power of who you are. You need to stay tapped in, young one. I'm going to teach you how to send that energy back and get that off of you. But don't fret none when it goes back to the person, because you're going to get exactly what they were given to you, except harder, because they made it. They designed it. Follow what I'm saying. They made it, they designed it, and they targeted you. It is not yours to carry, especially if you did nothing wrong. That's what makes it so much powerful. If you were falsely accused, something was done to you against your will, these are all universal laws, and you didn't consent to it. 3, these are universal laws. That's why when you do a return to sender, it's going to have a big ass payout. It's going to show. So he gives me a verse in Psalms, and he says, I want you to read this. You're going to start it on this day. You're going to have these 3 candles. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. What do you mean? I don't. And he looks at me, he says, it's all in you. You have the power to do it. Stop being afraid of yourself. This is through your lineage. Stop running from it. And I remember when he said that, I felt this whoosh come through me, and I was like, and then he leans in and he goes, there you are, right there. And I just remember saying, what just happened to me? He goes, I just reminded you of who you are. There you go. There you go. Okay, there you go. So, when he had me do that, I did it like he told me to. And when you're doing something like that, he had it with a mirror. He put the mirror in front of him. Return to center, return to center. And he says, just do this. So I did. He gave me an oil that was put on, he anointed me with, and he told me to use it. I didn't know what to expect. Now, keep in mind, I'm just coming into all this stuff of spirituality. This is in 1998, 1999. I'm just coming into this. It got activated right when I met my husband and got married to him. He was the activator. And then I met this other woman who was another activator. But it was right there in that window of time of being married to him for 4 years, I got that Jason Bourne activation going on. So I was just like, oh my God. So I did it. Stop having the attacks at night. Stop seeing the weird shadows coming into the room. Because when they know who you are and they are around your energy and stuff, they know how to get into your home and do all that crazy stuff. Okay? They know that. And she was powerful. An old Egyptian witch. Okay? She was doing stuff I never even heard of. So I remember when I did it, I said, I didn't do you wrong. I would have never did anything like that. I would have never stole your money. I would have never did that. And I told you who did it. And because you keep doing this to me, I send it all back to you. And may it do it to you what you sent out the intention for me. So be it. Next thing I know, I think it was about a month. Probably less. She ends up in the hospital. And this is the one where I tell you about the story. She got a very rare, fast-growing breast cancer. Doctors never seen anything like it. It took her out. Now here's what happens. The ones who inflict the curses, the hexes, through the bloodline, when you take them out, that cuts it off because it goes to them and it dies. Okay? You'll see this in Bless Me Ultima. Bless Me Ultima. Good movie about a curandera. Good movie. Ooh, that movie, even to this day, when I think about Bless Me Ultima, you watch that one. That one shows you directly how they can set it up to attack you, make you ill, all kind of stuff. You stay sick all the time. And you don't know why. Because of those type of attacks. But let's go back to the contract. because it's all intertied on generations of who crossed who pissed who off, who upset who married who got cheated out of this, and they're gonna this battle is happening. Okay, someone has to stop it, because if you don't, then when you have children, your children will carry the curse or the debt. They will be afflicted with it, because especially if they say, may this go through your bloodline, blah, 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 blah. You have to go to where it first started and get rid of that energy. That's the secret to generational curses, breaking those contracts, and it is hard ass work. Because as soon as you think you got one cleared, you got another one. It's like a spider web. But you have to keep clearing it. And as you stay steady in it, and as you stay focused in it, and as you stay on top of it, and stop giving your power away. When you give your power away, you keep it in its power. You keep it strong. When you give your power away to it and believing that it's taking you out, that believing that it's ruining your life, believing that it's doing this to you, as soon as you start keeping that belief true and you feed it that, it stays like that for you because you believe it. But when you make a high conscious decision to say, I'm going to return it all back to sender, this is the day I'm doing it on, I am no longer consenting to the attacks. I don't consent to what you did to me against my free will. I don't consent. And you sit and you mean it. What you say, you light that candle, that white candle that puts out that light that shows, I am here invoking this and I am putting this out there. I just sent up my light and now it's emanating what I just said. I'm returning it. The universe has no choice but to take that imprinted response and send it to the one who made it, who was sending that energy to you. It has to follow that trail line. This is why they say, when we do our work, when we are in our magical ways, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure you harm no one. Because if you do, and you intentionally go after someone and they did not do you wrong, guess what? Your ass is grass. Because that shit's about ready to come through and rip a whole new hole in everything in your life. This is why people who do things like that, they always think they're getting away with something. You ain't getting away with shit. No, it's coming for you. You just haven't seen it yet. It's coming. Okay, so those of you that have had experiences like that, or you're carrying a generational thing that's happened to you, and you've had your innocence taken, we have to break that part down to where you can get the essence of yourself back healed. They have to come back healed so that your fractured self takes back all your soul fragments and it comes back to you. And so you're healed that. Okay. This is where soul retrieval is so important, especially for anyone that's went through molestation, went through a rape. That's an essence part of you that's been taken and you're fractured. You have every birthright to get that part of you back. But it has to be healed. So when it comes into your spirit, healed, it fixes the fracture. So in a note of a note, a one day is not going to help fix a generational thing. This is something you have to be on it. This is something you have to be willing to dig in there, and you have to face it. And I love what Vicki said in her teachings last night. And this is going to hit home for all of you, because this is what healing is all about. This is what coming in this lifetime, dealing with generational stuff, going in and let it be done, and it's going to end with you. It's over with. You're going to send it. Nobody is going to be doing this stuff anymore to anybody. It's not happening anymore. And she says, surfers like to do what? They like to surf. And when there's a big storm coming in and the ocean is roaring and the waves are coming up, everybody else is running inside, barricading themselves. Where are the surfers? They're out there. They're swimming out there because they want to ride that wave. And I had a guy friend back in the day, in my younger days, when I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. 2 biscuits and 2 wings, sir? Okay. Yes, I got your order right here. I was making the biscuits. Jake was the chicken dipper and all that stuff. We were young kids getting ourselves absorbed into the work field. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Back in the day. When the chicken was chicken, maybe. So I remember he came in and he goes, "You want to see something cool?" I go, "What?" He showed me this picture of himself on his surfboard inside the wave. A friend of his was able to take it when he went into how the wave came over, and that's when they call it God's hand, comes over you, and you're inside the wave of water, riding it until you get to the end of it to get out before it collapses. And you just see this smile on his face, and he looks at me, he goes, "That's a once in a lifetime shot like that, to get that." I said, "That's beautiful." He says, "I got a couple of people that want to buy this off of me, but I won't sell it because I'll never be able to have that moment where a photo like that was caught and the energy that I felt when I was in that wave." So when surfers go in, and Vicki, I love, love, love how you did it. They look for that. Well, surfers face their fears head on. And here's the thing. They know they're going to come out on the other end. That's what they set in their minds. Every now and then there might be a little timing wrong and you get caught in a riptide, or that wave might come down the wrong way, but they time it just right to hit that wave before it starts to come down over them as they're inside of it, in the hands of God. Beautiful captions. So a lot of times we have to ride that wave. We really do. And when we come in and that contract is activated through the blood of your mother coming through that womb, you have to remember why you're here. And yes, some of the stuff that we come up against, I remember when someone told me, "Oh, it's in your soul contract." I go, "My what? What crunch? What? What the hell are you talking about?" "You signed up for this." I said, "I did not sign up for this shit." I was like totally like losing my crap. And I said, "I did not sign up for this." I said, "No, you did. We all did. All of us are playing a role down here. It's either learning something from the experience, you're going to learn how to heal yourself. Something is coming out of this that's causing your soul to become more and more of its true light self." And I said, "Well, I need a refund." I need, and I'll never forget it. I was like on this thing of, I'm, I'm, I gotta, and sometimes the way it happened because someone came on and he says, when you see things like this, you hear this, it makes you almost want to undo yourself, like you don't want to be here. And I remember I was, I talked about that with this lady who was telling me this, and she says, no, undoing yourself is not the answer to get out of the contract. Because what happens, all it does is boomerang yourself back here immediately into another body. Same scenario, but it's going to be harder. And you know what? I didn't get that teaching until my good soul spirit brother took his life. And when he did that, I was like, why did you do that? We were just having, I didn't understand the whole process. He undid himself. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And I remember his spirit came to me and he says, I go, what is this now? You're trapped now? What is this? You're going to just keep showing up in my room? You're just going to keep showing up in my car? What is this now? And he's like, well, I got to share something with you. And I go, what? He says, I'm in limbo because I'm waiting for a review because I have to come right back. And I looked at him and I said, well, if you would have just told me what the hell was bothering you at that time, we could have discussed this. But no, we're sitting down having pecan ice cream together, talking about opening up a beautiful health center up in Big Sur. And now that's not going to happen because what? And he's like, I know. But I'm going through a life review because the pain of what I was going through, I didn't know how to talk to anybody about it. I kept it all bottled up. And I was just like, I get it. He goes, I didn't want to burden you with it because you had just finished going through all your stuff. And I said, so? He goes, no. This was my decision. And you know what made it so clear about his contract is that my friend and Donna and I were sitting around one night and we were talking about the incident. We were all blaming ourselves, trying to figure out how could we have not seen this and what could we have done differently. You know, he played it off. And then all of a sudden her TV, she had like some music playing. All of a sudden it went blink, blink, blink. And we're like, what the hell? I go, what's wrong with your TV? You have the music on, playing through it. And all of a sudden this song comes on, I Did It My Way. And we sat there and listened to it and started sobbing. And then after the song was over with, the lights flickered and then the TV went boom, boom, boom and went back into a different song. That was his way of saying, I did it my way. I chose to do something different with my contract. And so now I have to come back, but I did it my way. So when we look at soul contracts and we look at being tapped in, we have to understand what is the medicine that I need to tap into to heal this. And how can I stop the energy of being a victim? Because I signed up for this. And that's the part, once you get over that part of it and you can just kind of say, oh, and when you listen to Vicky's story and the darkest place where she was in some kind of business thing or in doing her journalism work and she didn't want to give up the info and what they were doing to her. And what she endured. And then when she came out of it, her sacred purpose is, I'm going to teach others how to stay true to themselves, how to live it, be in it. Okay? You don't become your problems. You're not your problems. You're not your issues. And that's where a lot of us kind of lose that moment. We think because of the things that our parents did and what they shove on to us and we're carrying it, we have to carry that. No, you don't. If it was done against your will, without your consent, you don't have to carry that. You have every right upon your birthright to deny it, to deactivate it, to say no more. It ends with you. And you're going to send it back where it originated from. Send it all back. All of it. Every part of it. And make it known that day you carry it no more. And this is where the empowerment and the rebirth, and this is why this is like a deathing of the self. When you claim that and you send it all back, and then you find yourself standing at the rivers and you step into the rivers of the waters and you allow yourself to get that cleansing, this is where you will feel the spirit of the mothers of the waters come to you and rebirth you through the channels of Mother Earth through her waters, which is her blood. This is where the cleansing comes. A lot of people don't know that. You're going through a lot of shenanigans. You got stuff going on. You're not floating right, and you just need to go and be with the waters and allow Mother's waters of her true divinity to come up and to cleanse you. That water becomes like a new birth canal of healing for you. So when we talk about those soul contracts, please, in the community, I got the videos up in there. I also put the video in there about where our true essence of everything, when they tap the bottom of that hill and they take that blood and how they put it on. That video's up in there for you to watch also. The star, knowing your star origins, you're going to need pen and paper for that one because you have to figure out what your numbers are so that you can go in and see what other ones line up with you. She teaches how to do that. Okay, so you're going to want to go into that one. Then I put today a new one I've never heard of, and it's about when you get your bill in the mail that says you owe this much, that's an actual check that they're wanting you to sign on and pay because it comes out of your money, that money you don't know about. I was just like, damn, oh my gosh, how much more do we have to keep dividing our brain cells over of the truth? It's all this stuff that's been so hidden. 6,000, can you imagine? 6,000 years of bullcrap. People, come on. 6,000 years of bullcrap that we've all been enduring. All of us. This is not a color thing. This is a human thing. 6,000 years. And the time is up. So, of course, they're having a temper tantrum. But can you imagine the stealing of our timelines for 6,000 years? Do you really think it's 2024? Because in order to steal time, to push people backwards, if the time is still going forward, but they say we don't really have time. So all you did was steal 6,000 years from us. All of us on this planet who have been a part of the system of this ruling through these beings. 6,000 years. Let that sink in. How long we've all been down here playing this game. Don't you think it needs to freaking come to an end? Because we're all tired of it. And every time when something comes up and reveals another truth, we sit back and we say, oh my God, give me a soaking pot, please. You're looking for some kind of way to just like take yourself into a zone of shamalakalam sham. You know, the topic is something because it's like, how much more do we need to see? That was done to keep us in an amnesia state of being, never knowing who the hell you really are, never knowing how divine and sacred that you are, but keep you in this illusion. 6,000 years of bullshit. Made up crap. But we keep coming in because we keep signing that soul contract because we're coming in to undo it. And every time we got close enough, they would steal the time again. It's like a game. They steal the time again. Okay, we've got to start all over again. It's like that movie with Tom Cruise in it, where every time he would go forward and they were battling those. What was the name of that movie? Yeah, time is up. But what was the name of that movie with Tom Cruise in it? Everybody they were fighting those AI things, and every time they would get close to try to figure out how to take it out, they would kill them so they wouldn't figure it out. So you would have to die, and then you go back in, and it's the same scenario playing over and over and over again. And then they get close enough and find the mother and then take it out again. And it's always they have to keep restarting. And finally, they get into it where they trick it, the timeline, and they're able to blow up the mother that was sending out all these sentials. So that's what it's like for everything that we've been going through. They tell you in the movies what we're going through, but we don't see it because we just think it's entertainment. They are laughing at us because they're telling us, and we are so amnesia to not remember. So this is why coming back online, this is why stepping up into those higher frequencies is going to cause a lot of the stability in the mind, because it's like, whoa. I'm used to this, but you're telling me this is really what it is? Yeah, it's a lot of shock to the system. And what's going to happen, a lot of people who can't handle that is too much for their system. They can't handle it. So yeah, soul contracts is a lot deeper than just trying to do something in a 1 hour setting. And I'm that type of person. I am never going to do that to someone. So I will start off with, let's go at a different angle. Let's get started on something. What's your belief? Where's your PowerPoint? Because if your PowerPoint is too low, I'm going to help you get your PowerPoint back up. So, you know who I'm talking to. I didn't forget you. But I'm just being very truthful. You know, I would never do that to someone. Hey, it's going to take a little bit. You got to pay me a little bit more money before I can do that to you. No, I'm not like that. I don't walk like that. I don't. It's just, I'm here to fulfill my mission and do my thing. And I don't walk like that on people because I've seen it happen to people. I've seen people get taken advantage in that way. And I scratch my head and say, how does this person call themselves a healer and they do people like that? That's so karmic. You're really setting yourself up to get your butt spanked majorly by karma. So now when we talk about being tapped in, when you watch the video, everybody watch the video, it's in the community section here. You will watch her and you'll see her light, she'll get quiet, she'll take a breath, she got tapped in, and the spirit comes in and talks. And she had to talk to someone that came in that posted something underneath as a question and made a statement. And the light, you see it when it comes in, and she talks to the soul of that person to change it. All of you can tap in. Everyone, you just tap in. When you start feeling that weirdness, or you start feeling yourself so stressed out, you start feeling like you're just overwhelmed with everything that's been put upon us to live in this world that is not supposed to be here, you have to just tap in. Hi, sister. Hello, lovely. Show my sister some love. Show her some love. She just came in. Long journey she had. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you just tap in. Okay? Tap in is a part of our spiritual tools. As a matter of fact, it's the first thing you do before you do anything else, is you tap in. And when you tap in, you're tapping in through that high heart self, and you're connecting, and you're giving the notification that you are aware, that you are present, because we're in what? The presence. You're present to be here, to be in the experience, and to be in this space of your life force at this time. Some of you don't realize, okay, you might be going through something right now that is just wearing you down, got you full of worry, got your head spinning. You don't know how it's all going to turn out. All of us don't know how things are going to turn out, but it's going to be good. But you don't realize that in your moment of being tapped in, that you might run into someone who's a part of your experience, to get your mind off of what's going on, to show you how powerful you are, where you have to help them with something, a perfect stranger. And you don't know why, but you feel the need, like you have to go help that person. It might be a young mother standing in front of you who ran out of money. She's got to get this and this, and everything costs, and you're standing behind her, and you say, you know what, go ahead, put that on my tab, I'll pay for that. And then out of pride, that mother says no to you, and you look at her and you say, no, honey, we're all in this together. We leave nobody behind. And you pay for her stuff. She's going to walk with that overwhelming feeling that someone helped her. Here's the catch, lovelies. And I've heard this so many times, how when we're tapped in the spirit, and we just do what spirit guides us to do. This young lady, when she got up and she was worried, she took her shower, and she was in the shower, and she prayed for someone or some kind of help from spirit to help her. Because she doesn't know if she has enough to get what she needs to get. She put a prayer out. She put her signature out there. But for some reason, you were the one who was in alignment that got the call. You became her angel in disguise without even knowing that was going to be on your schedule in that moment. You see how that is? You see, in our spiritual tools of self, when we're tapped into Spirit, Spirit will tell you what they want you to help somebody with. Spirit will guide you and will not lead you astray. It's in that high heart sound when we tap in. So in the first thing in the morning, you're tapping in. You're tapping in. This is I am saying, hear me, I am present. My spirit name, tapping into that, and then I come in here, being tapped in. When we're tapped in, we get all the notifications first, before anybody else does. Might not feel too good, but we do get the notifications first, okay? So, we talked about the contracts. We talked about the honesty in being in medicine. You should never have somebody that calls them a healer extracting money out of you over and over and over, and you didn't get any results. You will get results with Galactic Spiral Light, but it is our responsibility to divinely tell you if it aligns with the amount of emotional trauma that you might have experienced that a 1-hour session will not fix. And that is being truthful, that is being honest, that is being transparent, that is staying true in our medicine of who we are. And when you walk in truth of the medicine and the magic of who you are, you get to keep that. Rather, if you're walking around shiesty, you're not keeping yourself in integrity. And when you keep yourself in integrity, that's when you are bestowed upon with more and more gifts that come to you so that you can fulfill your mission of being of service and helping others. Okay? So, one of the things that everyone should have in their spiritual toolbox, other than a pendulum, because pendulums are just sacred. Actually, I left where did I put it? Here it is. This one's made out of water from water beings. So I have a rose quartz here and then this here. Okay, so that's one of my pendulums. And believe it or not, when you use this, especially if you're in sacred space in a bathtub of water and you're asking questions, you will see it light up because it comes from water. You'll see a light come through this and hit the water. So this is like a sea urchin type of shell that has a little divot thing right there. Okay. You can get them at a bead shop or a shell place. That, if you're going to have rods, you make your own. This is made out of brass. I think I made it 18 inches long so I can curve the handles down, and I got some water pipe tubing and put it here. So when I have my rods and I'm looking for stuff going on in somebody's place or my place, it'll tell me what's going on, and you program them. This is my yes, this is my no. Okay? So your L rods are great. Now, before the L rods, there was I want to say your kind of like your made out of tree where a V part of the limbs come together, they form, and it was the water rods, okay? And that's how back in the day they would find water, but it's made out of the limbs from a tree that forms a V. Comes off that same limb and it has a V, and you can use that for finding water. They also come in like copper. Now copper, keep in mind, because it is a high conductor, this has the little turning rods on it. Now these are from Shasta. And if you're running high energy, you're going to bend these. Okay? They're going to just start bending. So just know that if you're getting some really high energy tap in, they're gonna bend because the energy is the conductor and the energy will come in for that. But it'll turn because it's copper all the way through. These are another form of L rods. So that's something you want to have in your tool. And remember with the story I told you, you make sure you take them with you when you travel. Because you just never know when people are going to be telling you stories. Then I like having my different type of wands. This is a copper wand. Has a nice point here with the crystal on it that amplifies. Now wands are simply a finger. That's it. But wands are extension to create and direct, or whatever your intention is. Okay, I already showed you my dragon one. Yes, because what do I do on Sundays, people? Yes, I'm all about the dragon on Sunday. Yes. Okay, love my dragon. Amethyst, the silver. Yes. Then, if you're into the gods, now I'm not sure if you'll be able to find this, but I was able to find it up at Shasta, and it was over 15, 20 years ago. Okay, you might be able to find the goddess one with the nice points on it. Okay, that's a form. Then every person should have, I've already told you, you need your medicine spoons, because when it's time to make certain medicines, you'll have a medicine spoon for when you're making your mixtures for things outside the body for healing. And then you have your spoon for when you're making your soups and your healings. Those spoons are separate. One is for the food, one is for outside the body, what you're making. Okay? When you're using the spoons for making your soups and your healings and things, and you're giving that to your loved ones because they're not feeling good, your spoon is the power of that. Now, I was just really happy to find it in a DNA form. Yeah, you know what I'm going to be doing with that. Let's talk to the DNA. Let's get that mitochondria up and powered. You're putting that intention in. And there's nothing like eating good soup that's made with intention. So everyone has to have those spoons. Another trick of the trade I like to make sure I have as a part of my spiritual tools, you always have your sages, different types. I like little spoons. This was so cute. I had to have it. It's called a moon magic. It was just a nice, pretty spoon because I like having my mortar and pestle. And this one, I got this one from Puerto Rico. Had to. I saw it and I was like, I can get that in my suitcase. I'll take a couple things out so this weight won't be so heavy. Because this is pretty solid. And I've made some really good medicine with this. So a good mortar and pestle, you should have one. That's part of your spiritual tools. Everyone should have one of these in a different size. Small, some of you might have, but everyone should have a double side Vogel. Okay, you should have one because these become energy psychic tools to use for spinning things out of the auric field, to get rid of something, to clear something, to remove something. That's all energetic. So one side goes in while the other side helps to repair, and it's scooping things out. But you want to pay attention to how thin the lasering sides are, because that'll tell you a little bit more of the type of energy you're going to be really working with if it's really deep. Now, some of them, the Vogels will come really fine tip. Okay, fine tip. But you got to protect those tips. So make sure you take good care of them and protect them by keeping them wrapped And then when Vogels really know what you do, how you work with it, you look for a signature. My signature is working with a spiral. So a lot of the Vogels that I come across will have a spiral or something in the middle of it. And here's that tip. And pay attention that when you are drawn to a Vogel, it doesn't matter how big it is, if you're drawn to it or what, but when you're drawn to it, pay attention to what you see inside of it. This is a self-healing one. There's a crack here. It looked like it was going to crack and then it self-healed itself. Okay? What is the name of a Vogel? It's Vogel quartz crystal. It's just a Vogel. That's the name itself. It's under, I want to say, Marcel Vogel, who is not around anymore. But he was the one that made the design of this because he worked in IBM technology, and he knew the significance of crystals when you put certain point spears all the way around to get it to come to a fine point that amplifies the energy. So when you're using it, because this is really good for people who practice a lot of pranic energy work. They use the crystals to go in and clear those chakras and to cut certain things, and that works really well. You can do it for distance, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for anyone else, but it has a really nice point on it. Okay, so but protect your points, and it just gets bigger and bigger. So you guys all seen the water one that I have. That's the big one. And that's the one that requires me to use 2 hands to hold it because it's that big. So you should have that on hand. Any of your Florida waters. This one is more of the basil one I like. These are those quick energy. This is my love. I love this one. This is the Saint, the Holy Michael. This one smells so good. This is like when someone comes over and you know they just had Ichabod Crane all over them, and say like you just can't spray, you can't light your sage, you got something going on, you can't light it right now. Whip this out, sprinkle, 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 sprinkle wherever that was, and it neutralizes the energy. It brings up the vibration. It's kind of like asking Archangel Michael, can you come in and just kind of take your sword around a little bit and just, whip it around? That's kind of like what you're doing. This is really nice. Now, this is not cheap. You're looking at a good 35, close to $40 for a bottle, but it will last you. You don't have to use a whole bunch of it. It will last you. Okay? This works really well. Then for a lot of us as healers, you can have your Florida water. If you can't go smudge yourself right away when you come out of different stores or any activities where you're around a lot of people and oh, I'm feeling a little sensitive here, have your Florida water. You can put it in a little mister, like a little misting bottle, and carry that with you and spritz yourself when you get in your car. Somebody got in your car and it had Ichabod Crane all over it. Psst, 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 psst. There you go. Just spray. Just get out of there. So then I think everyone should always have these little tools. Okay, these are great. If you're a massage therapist, these are great for acupressure points. Right there. Point to relax lungs. Right here. Clavicles come together. Drop your finger right there. Stimulate that. Opens up the whole lung passage. The frequency for that is 7344. 7344, 7344, 7344 opens it up immediately. Okay. So those of you that don't like needles, but you love to work with the acupressure points, you just need to make sure it has that little point, but it's not sharp, it's dull, but you can have it. And it comes in black and it comes in a clear. Okay. Those are really good to have. Those are just some of the basics. Always have a lighter. Always have matches. Always have scissors on hand in your spiritual tool bag. And your spiritual tool bag can be a nice basket where you put all your tools in. You want to have charcoal. So if you have to burn any kind of resin, incense, you have a piece of charcoal in there to do that. But that's if you're growing your bag. Now, I'm going to give a quick lesson about those of you that might be out on the walk and you see a bird being. Here's the rules on that. If you prayed about that and you asked for that and you see one, you need to make sure that is yours to work with. Don't go picking up stuff just because you think it's there and you think it's yours. Certain things you might pick up will have a lesson with it that you might not want to be enduring. Okay? When we talk about wings, when we talk about like an owl wing, especially owl wings, you got to be careful with that. If you walk with owl medicine, you walk with that being comes to you and communicates to you, that's a part of your medicine. Okay. But that doesn't mean that every time when you see an owl on that's gone, that's crossed over, that you go pick it up and take it home with you. Because it might have a lesson with it that you didn't ask for. If you prayed for it and you see it, it shows itself in 24 hours, that's yours. If you didn't pray for it and you see it and you think you should have it, no. No, 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 no. But if you want to honor that being, there's nothing wrong with taking it and giving it a respectful burial. In doing that, that being, if it knows that you did something like that for it, it probably will come to you in the middle of the night and say thank you. Just to acknowledge, you'll have a dream about it. But don't just pick things up and just think. Like a little feather or something, a lot of times a feather is a message from our loved ones. Is a message from a guardian that's trying to get your attention. Especially if you have a lot heavy on your chest, heavy on your heart, they'll remind you, make it light as a feather. And you'll see a feather. And a lot of times they'll put it by your car, somewhere where you're walking, it'll be right in front of you, by your door. It'll be a feather to keep your heart light. Okay? Those are some of the trick of the trades and some things that you should have as a spiritual tool. Your smudging, your sage, your Palo Santos, your waters. For me, I make a lot of my different like sacred divine water. This one is Damiantian, Tanzanite, Amazonite, and Frugalite water. Great to take a bath in. Oh my gosh. So these are those high crystal frequency waters. Now another thing to add to your waters, get yourself some silver that's in a container like this, or some gold. Keep it closed, and you can take this and transfer the energy into water and put that in water and use it as a healing modality. Okay? Silver and gold. Okay, you can find these in a lot of metaphysical stores where they selling stuff and it be in a little cup somewhere on the counter. Silver and gold. Just never know. You might need that. I don't know. We might be having like, I don't know, War of the World moment. I don't know. And then when you're making medicines, making sure you label everything that's yours. Like this is Divine Blueprint. How this one moves. And when you make your medicines, being aware of the type of things that you put on your medicine, being aware of the kind of glass you put your medicines in when you make it. Okay, I have traditional amber ones, flower life ones. This one is called the Golden Healer. golden healer. So that's pretty much it. Your spiritual toolbox will grow depending on what you walk with, what your medicine is. If you're a plant medicine person, you're going to have different type of plant medicines that you work with, that you've been taught and trained on how to use, that you put in your medicine box, your medicine tools. But depending on what your path is, it's different for everyone. You just need to know what gravitates to you, what feels good to you, and how to use that. And put that in your medicine bag. That's yours. Okay? Another thing about it, have respect for the medicine bag. I don't let no one come up and be rummaging through my medicine bag. And if I need to go get something or I don't have something and somebody else has their medicine bag, I will ask, hey, you know what? I ran out of this. Permission to have, if they're not in a place, if they give you permission, yes, go into my medicine bag and get my da 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 out. Okay, thank you. Permission. Because that's like just walking up on somebody's altar. You don't ever just go in somebody's house. I've seen people do this. You go in someone's house, they see altars up, and they go, oh, that's so nice. And they just put their hands on everything on the altar. You don't touch people's altars. And if you're doing it to an elder and you pick up something, that elder is going to teach you a lesson. That elder might say, oh, honey, you know what? You just keep that right with you. You take that with you. Since you picked it up off my altar, you just go ahead and keep that right with you. As soon as your butt walks out that door, your lessons begin with that. And that will teach you never to touch anyone's altar without permission. I have all those tools, but I also have discernment, and I don't consent to all the energies. Yes, exactly. Exactamundo. Okay? Any questions about everything that was said today? Any questions? I know it was a lot, and I told you this was going to be a long one because we were diving into about soul contracts and my truth about, when we do spiritual healing work, if I know in my heart of heart that a 1 hour session is not going to take care of your issue, I have to say my truth. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt and then be extracting money out of you all along the way. No, does that. That's so tacky, so third dimensional. Anyway, any questions, lovelies, for anything? Is everyone good? I know there was a lot, but can you imagine 6,000 years of bullcrap, of your time constantly being stolen, shoving you back, shoving you back, shoving you back. Nobody knows what the real year is. But I'm pretty sure if you add 6,000 years of interference with that up to the year that they gave us, is it really 2024? I'm just saying, hypothetically. Just saying. And I'm not a doctor and I'm not prescribing blah, 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 blah. I have to say that. So, with that being said, any questions? No, everybody's good. So everyone's homework assignment is you go into the community tab here at Be So Light, Tribe Family. I have a list of videos that thank you so much for teaching me how to put that in there, because I kept beating myself up trying to figure, I don't know how to get it in here. I just tell them where it is. And then I forget, and then I don't remember the name. And also, I have the video up of when she got interviewed about her cars. I think it was like last week sometime, how she got interviewed. So she talks about it, the medicine of the cars, and what her journey was like when she made the cars, and how it kind of changed. That's that tapped in. Now, why am I really talking to you about all this tapped in energy, those soul contracts, and I want you to do your homework assignment, watch those videos that's in the community? Why am I telling you all that? Because we're coming up on July in a few days. We're stepping into the realm of the seven. Yeah. I want everybody to be, oh, okay. I want everybody to be ready. Ooh. So some of you today and tomorrow, the deviant, is going to feel that chaos and that destruction, that emotional energy coming up inside of you. Okay? Some things that might need to fall away to be gone because you have the ancestral force that's going to be pushing it. So we're probably going to see this in earthquakes. We're probably going to see this in water, fire, a lot of elementals happening all at once. And we got this is 16. I'm like, uh-oh, wait a minute. So think about that. So the tower is, I am ready. That's what the affirmation is, the declaration. I am ready. When we invoke or we use the word declaration, we are saying, this is what I'm commanding. When we declare something, this is what I know to be my truth, and I say it is so. Okay, when we declare something. The ancestral force is diving into, I embrace my sacred connection to the infinite potential. This is the world card. I embrace my sacred connection to the infinite potential. I love that. Okay. Allow yourself to be more vulnerable with people in your inner circle. Allow yourself to be seen. Okay. You are safe. A lot of you, in this wrapping up the teaching for today, you have not felt safe. You haven't felt safe. A lot of it is through the DNA, current events. You haven't felt safe. What will it take for you to feel safe again? To feel safe. To feel shielded, to feel protected, to feel safe. If you can connect and tap in to the sacred self and just say, I am safe. From whatever you endured when you were younger, you have to start now in a place of, I am safe. And have to give yourself permission to find that timeline of when everything started that brought you chaos, that brought you a lot of craziness that you didn't consent to. And you have to be able to say, I don't consent anymore. I don't consent to the energy of this that was done against me, against my will. When you hold that command and you step into that, tap into it, you become the essence power greater than what the affliction was, to annihilate it. Simply by saying, it ends with me. It'll never happen to another person. When you take that stance, that's when that inner warrior comes up and it goes out and seeks and gets rid of that energy. Okay? So, with that being said, it's been my pleasure today to bring to you that truth of that, and a gentle reminder about our contracts, how we got here, why we're here. And yes, we signed up for this. Can you believe that? We signed up for this. Yes. That's the hardest part, to remember that. I signed up for this. When I first learned all that, I was on a rampage constantly. Want a refund? Want it now? Send it to me now, damn it. I want a refund. I'm unsigning myself for this. I need a new contract. Now, here's the thing. And I like how Vicky Diller said this. That's why I want everybody's homework assignment, please, between now and Sunday, you need to watch the videos in the community. And when Vicky said this, she says, when you make your mind up and stop consenting to the energy, and that whatever it is that's going on in your soul contract, and you say, I don't want this anymore, I'm done with this, you're declaring that particular thing in your contract is done, then you have every right to declare a new contract, a new life force contract that you want to have initiated that will override all the other stuff. So I sat there and I thought about that, and I said, yeah, but you have to have Archangel Metatron, or the overseer of your book of life. Okay. Here's my thing about the Akashic records. Nobody else human has a right to go into your Akashic records unless they are of a high divine, benevolent light, ascending master, cosmic grandmother check to go in there and check. Any other lower, not all with it human being playing in dabblings and all that stuff has no right in trying to look into your Akashic records. Why? Because that is your divine signature soul contracts agreements with you and Creator. No other being has any right to be in there looking at it, and it's guarded by the guardians who watch over that information. Nobody else has a right in there. And I've always felt weird about anybody talking about, oh, I can go into your Akashic records and go check it and see and do some healing in it. No, you can't. You stay the hell out of there. That's my business, not yours. You just don't know. Maybe that person might have another agenda if you give them permission. You don't know. That might just be something in disguise. All they're waiting for is you to say yes to it. Isn't that how all contracts start? Is a simple signature, a blood drop, or yes to it? All right, lovelies. Lesson has been taught. Please sit with that. If you are thinking about booking a session, just know I've spoken my honesty on that. If it's a really heavy thing that you carry and it's a bloodline thing, that is more than, it's one day ain't gonna help, honey. We gotta be for reals. And when you have a healer that can tell you and be transparent and be honest, they're not trying to take you for a ride. They're just being honest. Okay? Those are the ones you want to be with. Not the ones that, oh, honey, well, I thought that was going to work. You pay me another $100 and something. We'll see if we can get it this next time. No. This ain't a Biden time. All right. Whoops. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Anyway. The movie is just getting crazier and crazier, isn't it? All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. Please go in, take a look at that. And I know, I had to watch it last night. I just had to, because I wanted to decode it. And you know what had been do you know what had been the bomb? This is no matter it doesn't matter. They both look like two, not being disrespectful, but they look like two geriatric people on the run up in front of the camera trying to outdo each other. That's what it kind of reminded me of. And they all needed a timeout and they needed to go get some sleep. So anyway, I was watching it. I was watching it just to decode it. That's all. Because I know it's a movie. We already know that one that it's not really, that one's been gone since 2018. We already know this one's been gone. Okay. But I would have loved it. Wouldn't this have been perfect if T would have just said, well, I'd like to address this. Who the hell are you? Who are you? We all, and then he whips out the paper and says, we already know the truth here. Who the hell are you? Who are you pretending to be? I would have just probably, and then he turns around and says, my American citizens, tonight is the night we're going to let it all out. And then everything falls down and everything gets revealed. And then everybody be like, give me the popcorn. Where's the bubble gum? Give me the soda. Order the pizza. We're going to be here for 10 days. It's good. Oh, good. That's what I was waiting for. But oh well. The saga continues. All right, lovely. Be good to yourself. Have a good day today. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see how that fills out. All right. Everyone has homework to do. Please go watch the videos. Go through. Do your thing. All right. We'll come back and have a good talk. Family, be good to yourself. All right. Those of you that are on my books, I will be in contact with you through your emails. Please pay attention to your emails. All right. Much love to all of you. Bye-bye.